Well, to many of us, they are invisible. Seniors isolated by illness, disability, and most recently, of course, the pandemic.
Today on this Mental Health Monday, we explore what can be done to combat the social isolation, like a friendly phone call that can sometimes make a life-changing difference.
Hello, Sydney, it's Delise.
It's like having somebody come visit.
How's your day going today?
It's a Thursday afternoon, and Delise Johnson of Lakewood is working a hotline for seniors called Golden Chat. On the other end, Sydney Yarbrough of Santa Clarita.
You get out 2 eggs, you get 2 slices of turkey lunch meat.
Sometimes Sydney calls for advice. Today on his mind, tomorrow's breakfast.
There's your Sydney omelet.
Golden Chat is an outreach project of the I Did Something Good Today Foundation. Kimberly Lewis is the founder.
Well, it was born out of people crying out for help.
How's your day been so far?
Horrible. You wouldn't believe what happened.
On any given day, volunteers field calls from seniors isolated by COVID, illness, or disability. Part of Delisa's mission, help guide them out of darkness.
Let's get your doggy.
Oh, I'm getting kisses. He came over and gave me kisses.
Oh, he gave you kisses.
This caller, Joan, is a transplant from New Jersey.
She lives alone with 2 dogs and a cat. She's on a fixed income. She has to decide between buying dog food or buying more Ensure for herself.
Oh, my.
While Delise can't solve the problem,
I just have to be positive with her and encouraging her and help her through those anxiety moments.
isolation among seniors is not only common, it can be devastating, mentally and physically.
It's huge. It really is. Isolation can contribute to increase of Alzheimer's. It makes seniors more prone to elder abuse. The suicide rates higher with isolated and lonely seniors.
All factors that could be made better with human contact. Ever since this chat line started 16 months ago, callers
Were just talking to us about how they couldn't get out, they were afraid.
but with a 20-minute phone call,
I forget all about being alone for a while.
Oh, Sydney. You always touch my heart.
before chronic medical conditions took hold, Sydney was a vibrant family man who prided himself on doing for others. Now that he's homebound,
And I just love those young people that take time to talk to me and joke with me. Randolph, the famous cowboy. I'm really, really grateful for them. If more people like me would find out about the chat line, I wrote this in 1969. There would be less stress.
Wow.
also less loneliness and less isolation.
I mean, mine may not go away, but it helps me to deal with it, and that's the important thing.
And joining us now today, Kimberly Lewis, founder of the I Did Something Good Today Foundation. Delise Johnson is a Golden Chat volunteer, and Dr. Luis Sandoval, a psychiatrist with Kaiser Permanente. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Kimberly, let's start with you. Talk to us more about how the I Did Something Good Today Foundation began. What inspired you to start it?
Actually, what inspired me was an experience I had back when I was 15, 16. I was a police explorer for Compton PD, and I was always working there in the summer, and one of my jobs was to answer the PBX hotline, all the calls that were coming in, and there were seniors that would just call and hang on the line and literally stay on there for hours and hours just because they were that lonely. So this is obviously something that's been going on for many, many years. And I just never forgot that. And I just wanted to create something to help alleviate that.
And Delise, you're one of the volunteers. We saw you in that piece, and I have to say, it looked to me like you were getting just as much out of that as Sydney was. How did you get involved?
Oh, when the pandemic hit, I wanted to help, but I was locked up, and I called around, and they said, hey, this GoldenTALK chat line's starting up in March. And I said, oh, well, I'll sign up to help others. But you're right, I get more out of it than I think they do. It just blesses my heart every time I'm on the chat line.
Wow. And Dr. Sandoval, talk to us more about this issue of isolation for seniors and the effect it can have.
You know, such an important topic because some people say that they're introverted, some people say that they're extroverted, but regardless of how you feel you are as far as your personality, we are all social creatures, so we need to have that personal connection. And if all of a sudden we're isolated where we feel we have no contact with the outside world, well, that can really increase our depression, our anxiety, and really make us wonder what's going on. To have a chat line like this is amazing. And just like you were saying, not only can we reach out and help the elderly or anybody who's feeling isolated or alone, but it really benefits us in many ways because all of a sudden we start to realize, gosh, I feel really good when I can reach out to somebody and make their day.
And Kimberly, I want to go back to you. The timing of the birth of this program, so close to the start of the pandemic, obviously made the need even greater. But senior isolation is not something just born out of COVID, right? I mean, this is an issue we're dealing with all the time.
Absolutely. And I actually created the chat line in August of 2019 and had planned to launch it in May of 2020. But because of COVID, we were able to launch it with maybe 2 volunteers in March, right when the shutdown happened. So we were lucky and grew from 2 volunteers to about 200. Wow. But we're definitely still in need of volunteers. So anyone that wants to volunteer with us, please do.
That is incredible. 2 to 200. Amazing. Delise, tell us about some of the success stories. We just heard about one. Cases where you know you've actually been able to make a difference.
Oh, gosh. There's so many. Well, I think of Joan. Her apartment was flooded. She had trouble with oxygen and medication, and she had anxiety attacks like all the time. And she was calling, well, she's our record holder as far as calls, but she was calling 2 and 3 times a day, panicked. And now when you call her and you get her doggy on her lap and he's licking her and she's so positive and upbeat, listening to Beatles songs on the, on the YouTube, it's just, it feels so good. It feels so good to help her out of that darkness like you were talking about, Dr. Sandoval.
It feels so good for all of us. I mean, in the age of text and email, a good old-fashioned phone conversation goes a long way.
Absolutely.
So, Dr. Sandoval, are there specific things that family members should be on the lookout for when it comes to concerns about senior family members and isolation?
You know, absolutely. If you know that you have a family member who is living by themselves, who might be isolated, you want to reach out and talk to them. And really what you want to pay attention to is, do they sound a little bit different? Do they sound like they're a little bit more depressed? Now that things are opening up, are you willing to go out and actually pay them a visit? Or you can let them know about a talk line like this where they can reach out themselves or get a phone call, and then they might not feel so down. Always look to see, have they changed their routine? Has their personality changed at all? And is there anything I can do to kind of make their day a little bit brighter? Even just saying, hi, how are you doing? I was thinking about you. The power of that, to know that somebody else is thinking about you, is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dr. Sandoval, Delise, Kimberly, thank you so much for all of your insight and for all the information and for what you do on a daily basis. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. Thank you.